Alright, this video is going to be about the course maker, which I've already tried once or twice. Now before buying this game, I didn't even know that it was going to have this feature. So basically, you start off by selecting a theme, basically. Let's see here. Okay, so it starts off, you go up to the top here, global settings, number of sections. As you can tell, there's start, then there's 3 dots, which are obviously sections. You can change the amount. Right now it shows 4. So if I do 6, you notice that it completely changes the entire track. You actually have no control over what the track looks like, but you can change. You can sort of change how it looks. So you can change weather. I guess you can't because this is kart, and they don't have different weathers for the kart. So you change time of day. So what you do is after that, you decide how many sections you want, and it does tell you the length, but that will probably change. So we'll go to section 1, and basically, section complexity, excuse me, set on 5. Now if we put it on 0, doesn't change it much. Put it on 10, it changes a little bit. Now this is probably not a good example because I use the cart. Sharpness of turns, check out 3. Yeah, this isn't a good example. Let's go to a different theme. Because I gotta back out. Okay, we'll do this one. Alright, so this one here, like I said, let's change this to 5, I guess. You can change the weather, time of day, and now we'll go to section 1, it highlights it, change the complexity. You'll notice it pretty much generates curves and turns beyond your control. If you put it to 0, it's almost straight. And that's basically all it is. You go to the next section and you can change complexity. See how it makes it straight if it's 0, and if I put it on 10, it's gonna make it all, windy. You can't really tell the road width, but I usually kind of just leave that alone. I mean, unless you want to have a really tight spot where you only want a couple cars to be able to fit through, then I guess you could change that to be really skinny. Sharpness of turns, pretty self-explanatory with that. So basically, after you do that for each section, like I said, there's no control over what's gonna happen. But when you're done, it's still gonna be a unique track. And then you can use these. Apparently, you can use these online, and your friends can race these tracks with you. But I haven't done that option yet. But that's just what I've read. Then obviously you just do a test drive. Pick a car. These are just random cars, they're not my cars. I guess you can do, if you do favorites, you can do your own car. But we're gonna do one of their cars since it's faster. Try this car out. Now I'm curious to see how skinny the road is when I get to that one spot. We'll leave it on automatic. Alright, start off. First section. You can change what the map looks like too. Meaning the map on the left side that tells you where to go. Just like any other racing game. Oh, oh. Sweet. Oop. Alright, so here's the skinny track for reference. So as you can tell, you can only fit maybe 1 or 2 cars on this. So I guess it's probably a good idea to just make one track and have each section be a different width so you can get an idea of what it's going to look like. Because if you had an entire track that was this skinny, you would never be able to pass anybody, or you know, if you were playing with your friends, you'd be smacking into them. But I could see how this could be useful to kind of, you know, up the difficulty on a track. Of course, the car that I'm using isn't exactly the best for this condition, but so that's basically the concept. Like I said, you have no control of how the turns are, so it's kind of a downside. But at least if you by chance play this game so much that you get bored of all the tracks, you can make your own track, kind of customize it a little bit. So that's an interesting add-on to the game. You can do what you want with it. You know, some people use it, some people don't. But oops. That's pretty much it. I was just curious to see how that worked. Then you can obviously change the section if you don't like it, and then save it, which I'm not going to save that, obviously. Alright, and real quickly, I'm going to go ahead and try Gran Turismo TV out. I have no idea what that is. I'm assuming it's just a replay channel. Okay, what do we got on the left side while that's loading? We have recommended, program list, cart, play screen. Interesting. So we're actually in PlayStation Store, so I wonder exactly what we're getting ourselves into. Okay, so what do we got? Thrustmaster, RS Introduction, Racing at the 24 Hours of Nürburgring, Part 1. I guess these are actual real videos, it looks like. Alright, that's interesting. Don't really want to watch that. What's program list? So it looks like trailers and such, I guess, about different things. Not really what I expected. What's cart? I guess you can download and I guess possibly purchase content, but it doesn't really. I'll have to look into that more, but I guess it's just another way to add content to the game at some point. There's something you could purchase. I don't know why you would, but play screen channel. Oh, that's just to change the view of the video. So I guess yeah, I guess that's it. It's basically trailers and movies, so that's interesting. Um, yeah, I guess that's just interesting. What's this? Alright, so these are actual real videos, and it looks like you gotta pay money to watch them, supposedly. Or if they're events. It's really hard to tell. I guess they're just videos. So that's enough for me. Obviously not gonna pay to watch something. Last but not least, I'm going to show some options real quick, because this is another thing that I like about this series. You have your general options, which are how you want the arcade mode set up, your display, which is really strange. I don't know if it's my TV or not, but on the right side of my screen I have about 1.5 inches of a black screen along the edge that there's nothing I could do about it. Um, Auto demo start time and repeat settings. You can change the units if you want to use a more familiar unit like kilometers versus miles. Vibration function, button assignment, and of course all your other stuff. It does have 3D TV mode settings if you have a 3D TV, which I don't. But that is pretty good if you hold on to the game long enough and you pick that TV up, you can use that setting. But this is by far the most favorite thing, and obviously with the steering wheels too. It pretty much has all the steering wheels you can get, which it has the default settings for that controller, so you could just pretty much start and go. But like I said, my favorite thing is this right here. It shows every single button that you have on your regular controller, and you can change each button to do whatever you want. Now my personal settings is I have L2 as my brake, R2 as my gas, and then I leave these all the same. And then with the right stick I have shift down for the up motion and shift up for the down motion. So that's how I shift up and down, I use the right analog stick to sort of like simulate an actual shift in a sports car in a sense. And everything else I pretty much leave the same, but you can customize each button to do whatever you want. And a lot of games will usually have 3 or 4 different ways to do it, but won't let you get that detailed with it. And one of the things that I've always was disappointed, like especially for Xbox, certain games where it'll have where you can use the right analog stick, but you won't be able to change whether it's up or down. And I actually do the reverse, as you can tell. If I hit down, it shifts up. Well, most games it's the opposite, which I don't like, and doesn't make sense to me. But in this game, you can make it whatever you want. So if you don't like the controls, I'm actually thinking about changing my brake to L1 instead of L2 because I keep accidentally hitting L1. So that's pretty much it. So far, it's a really good game. It's one of those racing games that you can play for hours and hours with. It has a lot of replay value. And one of the things, like I said, to watch out for in the GT mode is before you start spending your money, make sure you know what you're buying, and make sure you can race with that car, or you find yourself with a car that's useless, at least for now. I'm gonna go ahead and save. I don't know if it automatically saves or not, but just out of habit, when I'm done playing the game, I'll just save everything. And that'll be it for now. I'll probably have more videos down the road with more racing, and I'm gonna try the online mode at another time. I'm a little apprehensive about doing that because of how long it takes to load up a match. I can only imagine how bad it'll be online, but either way, I'll give it a shot, and we'll check that out.